Hello everybody, welcome back to SNORCKL YouTube page where we talk about movies and games and all kinds of other shit. Today,
mostly movies at this point.
Mostly movies at this point. We are here today to review
one of the most anticipated movies of the year.
One of the most anticipated movies of all time. We are here to review
the new prequel.
The new Rogue One Star Wars. We just got back from IMAX theater. We got these cool posters. I got like 4 or 5 of them, I think. These are always cool for the first, showing or two. It's always like a little reward. But we are here to talk about the movie, not the poster. So
there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
All right, let's lay down the specifics here. Rogue One, directed by Gareth Edwards, who did Godzilla.
Yeah. Good movie.
Yep, I like that one quite a bit. It stars Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso,
yep.
Mads Mikkelsen as her father, Galen Erso.
I love him.
I love him as well. Forrest Whitaker as Sol, Diego Luna as Cassian. Also, Donnie Yen is in this movie.
Donnie Yen.
And Riz Ahmed. Basically, it takes place right before Episode 4.
Yeah, it's in between 3 and 4.
The
It's the best way, I guess, to describe it.
It's right before the original. Yeah. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And it's basically Jyn Erso has to, along with Jyn Erso. my apologies. Jyn has to get together with this ragtag group of guys.
Yeah, the rebels are like really fractured, it seems like, in this film, and they're not really sure what exactly to do about the Death Star.
Yeah, because the Death Star is a relatively new device.
They're not even sure if it exists necessarily at some certain points, it seems like.
But yeah, it's basically them getting together, and they gotta figure out what the hell is going on with the Death Star, how is Jin's father involved, and figuring out a plan to deal with it.
Yeah, and they basically are trying to get the blueprints, which that's not a spoiler because they basically said that.
Yeah, if you've seen the original Star Wars, they get the blueprints at the very beginning of the movie. Leia gets them, and then she transmits them into R2-D2, and then he gets sent off to Luke, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Here, you see basically the very beginnings of the whole Star Wars saga that we know from 40 years ago.
The original, the original movies. I want to preface this by saying you don't have to see this film if you just want to watch the episodes in order.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool film to see like more of the Star Wars universe. There's 3 characters that really stood out to me. K2, the robot droid.
Played by Alan Tudyk.
Imwe.
Played by Donnie Yen.
Yeah, Donnie Yen. Great character. And also Ben Mendelsohn's character. He's like the main bad guy in the film.
Yeah, his name's Krennic, and he's basically this almost like admiral of the Imperial forces. And I agree. Alan Tudyk's droid, he was my favorite character by far.
Yeah.
He's really funny. He's interesting because he was originally an Imperial droid, and then he got reprogrammed, and so that's kind of plays into his character. And
it helps them get into certain like situations or out of certain situations because they think the
droid is a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's on their side, right?
So they can get in and out of situations because they're like, oh, they don't realize, the stormtroopers don't realize he's...
As far as characters go, a big complaint I have with this movie is the main character of Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones.
Not a great performance.
I don't know how you felt about this, but man, Felicity Jones, as soon as she got cast in this role, I thought it was a miscast. I thought she didn't fit, and I was correct.
I felt like the girl or the woman should have been younger.
Yeah.
And I felt like they needed... You just don't care about this character. I didn't anyway.
I didn't give a shit about most of these characters, but specifically Felicity Jones, Jyn Erso, and it just it pulls you out of the movie so much because whenever the main character's on screen and you don't want her to be on screen, that's a problem.
Yeah, she's like one of the weakest characters. Didn't care about Diego Luna. Didn't care about Felicity Jones.
Also, as far as that goes, it isn't that she's a woman because I loved Daisy Ridley as Rey. I loved it. She was probably my favorite character in The Force Awakens. So to see it just be so subpar compared to the standard they've already set, it bummed me out. So
I think everything flowed really well, and it didn't take me out of the movie like it took you out of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to like look past it and look at the overall story.
Yeah.
But like every time Vader was on screen, which was way more than I thought, and every time Ben Mendelsohn was on screen, or K2, or Donnie Yen, like those characters, I was like, oh my god, I want to see a movie about this character.
Yeah.
And when Felicity Jones was just like, oh. And Darth Vader in this movie, which we can't get into too many spoilers.
Yeah, we're trying not to spoil it, sorry.
He was in it way more than I thought. Because everybody was like, oh, is Luke in Force Awakens, and everybody was like, yeah, he's in it, but they didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But he's literally in it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Darth Vader was in this throughout the film, not a ton, but he had some dialogue and he looked badass. Towards the end, I'm not going to say what he did, but it was one of the most badass things.
Okay, this was another part that was slightly disappointing to me.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so I've been really looking forward to Darth Vader in this movie. And he's in it just about as much as I thought he would. But he has 2 scenes about, I'll say that. The second scene is fucking awesome. He's badass. He does some stuff. You're going to love it. The first scene, he Ben Mendelsohn's character shows up. Obviously, he has to interact with Darth Vader. And Darth Vader, you see him, he's getting prepared, he's putting his suit on, it's badass, the music's perfect. And then Ben Mendelsohn's waiting for him, and he walks out, and it's just I don't know. He kind of looks like a guy in a Halloween costume. Oh, now the voice is perfect, because it's the original voice actor, James Earl Jones, of course. But it just didn't sell me completely on how badass he was. But that was remedied later in the movie, so it's kind of a nitpick more than anything.
Did James Earl Jones not pass away?
No, he's still alive. His wife passed away recently.
Oh, I thought he passed away a couple years ago.
No, his wife recently passed away. But yeah, I'm glad he's still around, able to do his voice work.
He's still catching Star Wars shit.
He's badass in this movie, I will say that.
So, Mads Mikkelsen, who I really like, and Forrest Whitaker, I'm not a huge fan of his because I haven't really seen his work, but he's good, whatever. They're both in this film. They both have a pretty big scene that they play. I really like Mads Mikkelsen. I think in his 2 scenes that he was in, I think he did really well.
Yeah. I liked him quite a bit as well. He was believable as Jin's father. And it was his dynamic with him between, he wants to not serve the Empire, obviously, he's a good guy, but he knows he has to do it for his daughter, and he has a greater purpose, basically. I just didn't like how he was so good, obviously, in the little bit that he had. I wish that his plot, his character arc was handled better, I guess I'm saying. It's
a really good war battle movie. I think there was the rebel forces, especially towards the end when they were on what planet were they on? Scarif. That I don't know, they were on the planet probably for 20 to 25, maybe even 30 minutes, and it flowed really well. The battles in the air. This was maybe the best space battle we've seen ever in Star Wars. It's not Hacksaw Ridge. There's not legs getting blown off and stuff like that. But it does show the outcome of war in a way, and how real it is. And I think they did a really good job at that. Even though I wasn't super sold on all of the characters, I did like some of the characters, like I said. But to just see what they went through in that moment, it was actually kind of realistic, in a way.
It felt like you see war movies and the characters at the end do they live, do they die, do they make it back home, do they die in battle, whatever. And you see that with all the characters, and it's interesting. And it felt just like one of those movies, a legit war movie.
Tiny spoiler here, it has no impact on the film whatsoever. There was one character, I think he was a general or something, and he was piloting a X-wing.
Yeah.
And he was in a couple different scenes throughout the film, but not a huge dialogue or anything. And they followed him when they were on Scarif, and he was flying around trying to shoot down stuff in his X-wing. And I think this movie actually did capture the weight of war in a way, because they're following him, and he's shooting down, and then he saves someone, and then he saves somebody else, and then he got shot down, and they just showed him careening and plummeting right into the ground, and he died. And then they just literally I think they just panned over and then went into a gun battle with somebody else. And I was like, that's what war is. Somebody's living and they're doing something heroic, and then all of a sudden they're dead, but everybody else around them is still fighting. So I think that was kind of a cool thing.
I definitely agree on your perspective. And the way they handled it is really well done. It's just, it didn't have as much impact as it should have, because you didn't really, me personally, I didn't really care about the characters that much.
Yeah.
So when things are happening to them and they're in peril or they're doing something awesome, it's I'm not when Finn and Rey are on the Millennium Falcon shooting guys down the first act of The Force Awakens, I was fucking hype. I was excited. I was happy for them. But here, it's definitely more gritty, more dark, but it just didn't impact me as much as I wish it had.
I do agree. I think they did a good job, considering I wasn't super sold on all the characters, and the fact that they didn't go blood and guts, because you said it was PG-13, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So, Hacksaw Ridge and movies like that go one way, and then these type of movies have to go a different way, just because that's not the audience they're targeting.
Technically, the movie's really great. It looks beautiful. The cinematography is great. The effects are all great. The sound's great. The music. And the production design. It looks like all these places, the sets and stuff, it feels like a Star Wars world. You're in there.
One thing that I thought was really cool about this movie was how they portrayed Grand Moff Tarkin. They do like this really cool. I know other movies do it too, but the one that's sticking out to me is during Civil War with Robert Downey Jr. They make him look like young as hell at the beginning of the movie, and they also did Grand Moff Tarkin for Rogue One, and it was super cool. Like, I don't even know how they do it. They did it with Paul Walker. They had like his brothers, and they CGI'd his face.
Yeah.
Also,
it's kind of weird.
It's weird how they do it, but it's getting better. Yeah. I think because Grand Moff Tarkin literally looked like the fucking guy. I was like. Almost indistinguishable.
It's like it's almost like a theatric in like a video game where it looks like photorealistic basically. Yeah, that's kind of like what it reminded me of.
I can't even imagine like the detail work that they have to do.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up.
Like on the computer and shit. Like oh my god. Yeah. But they have Pixar and shit that probably help them. So.
Yeah. I'll definitely give them props for that. It was pretty good.
But there are some scenes with that in this, and there's another one that I'm not going to spoil for you that looked fucking unreal. It looked just, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but that's
I agree on that, yes.
That's something I want to point out, because I think that's going to be in tons of movies going forward, not just Disney.
And I'll definitely give them props, because it looked really, it was really well done, and it serves the movie well, I thought. Overall thoughts, right before we go, a little disappointing. Just for me personally, I wish the characters had been better. I wish the story had been a little less predictable. Obviously, you know what's going to happen, but just the way they went through the beats wasn't as great as I thought it could have been. It was kind of weird with the Death Star, how it was operating. It was kind of weird with some of the choices they made in different aspects, but technically it's really sound, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
It's pretty good score, considering it sounded like you were going to give it a worse score.
Nah, I mean, it's a technically well done movie. It's just I don't care. I'll probably never watch it again unless it's on like TV or something. It's just I like The Force Awakens way more. I give it like a 9 out of 10.
I will say that I definitely look forward to, because I actually am in the process of watching. I just watched the new trilogy, episode 1, 2, and 3. I watched this, and then we're gonna watch 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the next couple weeks or whatever. I think it fits in perfectly. I think it's a good movie to slide into the series.
Yeah, you probably have a little better perspective than I do.
Yeah.
Because you just watched it.
Exactly. I think story-wise it fits in great. I think it's a great war/battle movie. I think it captures like the weight of the mission. Some of the characters are weak, I will admit that. They did a couple of really cool things, I think, with Darth Vader, and they really brought in other characters from the universe that made it seem part of the Star Wars universe, and it was, because you had like, you know, the Death Star and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, it was obviously part of Star Wars. But they brought in a couple of characters, but didn't overshadow what they were doing with the other ones. But bringing in those characters, Darth Vader and a couple other characters that they brought in, instantly overshadowed the new ones, and it just made it seem like, okay, these other characters are shit compared to these others. Overall, I'm gonna give it, and I know I've been super generous lately, and I'm gonna start cracking down on my scores. Man, I don't know. I hate giving half grades on things.
Oh, I hate that.
So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, this is not a 9 out of 10.
It's a 9. For me, it is.
Okay, that's fine. I will say, I know I've been rough on it. I did give it a 7 out of 10. That's not that bad. But I think if you do not love Star Wars, you love Star Wars.
I love Star Wars.
If you do not love Star Wars, I honestly do not think you need to see this movie. It's because the stuff that really gets you excited, it's not these new characters. It's not really the story. It's seeing the other pieces that are from, like Vader, the Death Star, these other old characters that you're familiar with, these other places. That's what's really great. I'm sure the fans are going to love. To me, it just didn't affect me that much. So, with that being said, it's a pretty good movie, but not required viewing as far as I'm concerned if you're not a diehard Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Thank you guys for, God, we've been doing this since March?
Wow.
Or April?
March, yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane was our first movie, I think.
Yeah.
Our very first video on SNORCKL. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. We have tons of more videos, and we're not stopping anytime soon. So thanks for watching, guys.